Let's play a game, shall we? I'm going to read to you a scenario that a guy wrote in on whereby he's having a situation with his wife, not wanting to sleep with him. And his question at the end was, is he the a-hole for what he did? And I want to go over what's actually going on here and where he could be in the right or wrong. I want to see for the game if you can spot why it is that his wife potentially does not want to sleep with him the way that he wants to, all right? He's 38, his wife is 36. He says, I've been married to my wife for 11 years, and for the past 4, our marriage has been a lifeless bedroom. I've always been clingy, but lately she's completely lost interest. We've gone through the motions, therapy, date nights, open conversations, but nothing has changed. Recently, during a session, she calmly told me she wants hooking up completely off the table until further notice. She said she needs time to reconnect emotionally, but also admitted there's no guarantee she'll ever want it again. At first, I tried to be understanding. I didn't want her to feel pressured or objectified, but hearing her say that something that once made us feel alive was gone indefinitely made something click in me. She told me to go to therapy to, quote, learn not to make her responsible, end quote, for my needs. That was the moment I realized she's right. She's not responsible for them. I am. And that means I also get to decide if I want to live like this. After days of thinking, I told her, quote, I love you, but this marriage isn't the right fit for me anymore. I said it calmly, not as a threat, but as a truth. She froze, then burst into tears. She accused me of being selfish and of not caring about her emotional journey. She said I blindsided her, but how long am I supposed to wait for her to maybe want me again? Now she's furious, telling friends that I'm abandoning her for, quote, not putting out. But it's not about the sex, it's about feeling desired, wanted, alive. I can't stay in a marriage that feels like a friendship with taxes. So now I'm the a-hole for choosing honesty over silent treatment. Am I the a-hole here? And then so forth. So let's go through, right? Because there are a lot of people in the comment section that responded that she was, in fact, the one being the a-hole. Certain comments read like, so she's not responsible for his needs, but she's holding him responsible for hers. Somebody else said, a woman said, I couldn't and wouldn't be in a marriage that was more like a platonic roommate situation. I don't blame the poster. Somebody said, that's usually how it works out. All that matters is their needs. Man's need doesn't matter for them. The saying, happy wife, happy life is proof of it, and so forth and so on. A lot of people, men and women, undoubtedly agreed that she was the one being the a-hole in the situation, right? I look at it from a different lens. I'm looking at it from the lens of like, what things happened in their marriage that could have potentially caused this thing to flame out. Up until 4 years ago, they were hooking up all the time. No problem. But then in the last 4 years, suddenly there was a shift, and now she's not wanting to do it as much. So can you spot within this message where it is that this guy went wrong and it's potentially the reason as to why she is no longer interested? Now, we'll be fair. We don't know if they have kids or not. Maybe she's busy with the kids. Maybe she's feeling slighted at home or whatever like that. Maybe she's starting to feel an emotional or hormonal imbalance that's causing her to not feel the things. She could be on birth control that's causing her to feel a certain way. Like, we don't know. I mean, we don't know that. But where in here could you potentially spot something that he's doing that could possibly turn her off? If you've watched my channel long enough, it should be pretty easy to have heard that when I was reading through the question. But for those of you that may be new here, I will give you my insights now. Here's where this guy tripped up. The very second sentence of this message gives away the whole game. And the second sentence says, I've always been clingy. That's the first part of the second sentence. And that, my friends, is how he started to lose his wife's interest with regards to sex in the relationship. He says himself, he has always been clingy. Now, as I teach you guys on this channel, clinginess is not typically a behavior that women find attractive in men. Yes, you want your woman, you want your wife, you want your long-term girlfriend, whatever. They need to feel that you find them attractive and you find them appealing. But neediness takes on a whole different situation. Neediness is basically telling a woman or giving indications to a woman that you don't really think you're good. You don't think that you're the hot stuff, and you're not capable of being able to self-regulate your own emotions or feel good about yourself unless you're getting constant validation from her. Now, we want your wife and your girlfriend or whatever to be giving you validation, but we don't want you setting yourself up to be looking like you're begging for that validation. If we're looking at this, right? He said up until 4 years ago. So they've been married for 11 years. They probably dated before that for a few years, right? So let's say they dated for like 3 years, got married, and they've been married 11 years. So let's say they've been together for 14 years, right? 14 years, we subtract 4 from that. So for 10 years, this guy has been clingy. This guy has been needy. This guy has been desperate. And maybe initially the wife thought he could just be nervous. Maybe he's not used to like women sticking around. So maybe once we get married and once we start having kids and once we're in this for a long time, that needy behavior will just kind of go away because he'll realize that with me, he's safe and I'm not trying to go anywhere, right? But now it's been 10 years and she's probably tried stuff to get him to see that she's going to be there for him and she's not going to try to run whenever something bad happens. And rest assured that she finds him attractive. And in spite of that, he, according to his words, has been showing clingy behavior. So the question becomes, at what point does that become so unattractive to a woman that her body is no longer wanting to invest itself in you? What he's not seeing is that his clinginess is a really big reason as to why she's no longer interested in sex with him. Him being clingy is saying, I need you around all the time. I need you to validate me, validate me, validate me. And oh my God, if you don't do this thing, I'm going to feel some kind of bad way or whatever, right? And so women don't want to feel pressured into having sex with you. Women want to feel as though it is their idea and it's of their own wanting that they're coming to you for a hookup. And it's not to say that you as the husband or as the boyfriend or whatever can't ever go to her and make moves that indicate you want to do sexual things. But when you're adding the air of clinginess and neediness to it, that is unappealing to a woman. A woman has to feel attracted to you in order to want to sleep with you. And this is whether it's your girlfriend or long-time wife or whatever. And so just because you get married to her, you can't assume that any behavior you do is going to be fine and that you're going to still get sex as a result of that. Especially being married, you showing all this needy, desperate, clingy behavior, yes, even though she's agreed to a lifelong contract with you, that doesn't mean she can't be turned off by stuff in their relationship. And so you being clingy is turning her off, which is in turn making her not want to sleep with you. She's not going to be able to explain that. As I've said on this show time and time again, women receive us, and so they don't spend most of their lives analyzing, wait a minute, I don't want to sleep with him. Could it be because he's needy and clingy? I don't know. Let me examine that. It's your job as a guy to know the behaviors that when you display them are going to turn off your long-term girlfriend, wife, or whatever. And so he's not saying that. All he's saying is he's not getting what he's wanting. And so because he's not getting what he wants, what's happening is he's now showing more clingy behavior, more desperate behavior. He's more forcefully trying to guilt trip her into wanting to hook up with him because he doesn't realize that the behavior he's showing is the primary reason that she's not hooking up. And again, people in the comments are bashing this woman. And on some level, hey, we could say when you get married, you need to understand that a guy can't go anywhere else for these hookups. And so they have needs and blah, 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 blah. And they could consciously know that, but they still got to feel a level of attraction to you, and you have to leave space for them to think at times, he hasn't touched me in a while. I think I want to touch him and go to him. And like, you got to set up scenarios for that to happen, because if you don't, then it's going to always be you looking like the needy, desperate one for touch. So she says here, she said she needs time to reconnect emotionally. That's not what's happening. What's actually happening is when she's saying that, again, because women are going to try to think up what it is they think they need in order to want to do it with you again. And they're not going to know subconsciously that you being needy and desperate and clingy is actually the thing that's turning them off. They're not going to understand that. So when she's saying reconnect emotionally, what she's saying is she needs time to sit with herself and not be pressured and not be constantly being grabbed upon and dealing with a guy that's clinging onto her all the time for his emotional stability. She needs to see this guy get back to a place where he's confident, where he's going after other goals, and he's not constantly focusing on, I need her touch in order to feel good about myself. Now, I'm not for long-term relationships or marriages where people aren't touching each other, but I am saying that this guy's not realizing that if he would just pull back, if he was able to spend just a month where he wasn't trying to talk to her about sex, not trying to guilt trip her into sex, not trying to cling on her all the time, if he actually like got out of the house and spent time with his boys or his relatives or other people that aren't her, if he started picking up other interests that didn't have to involve her, like a hobby or something like that he could go to every week to just hang out with other people, then he would see a more dramatic shift in her being able to say, oh, I really missed you today, or oh, when you were out doing a thing, I thought about you and other stuff. But per his words, he's not leaving room for that. So picture she's at home and he's all on top of her. She's trying to watch a show of hers and he wants to sit right there. She wants to go to a restaurant with her friends and he's texting her, hey, hope you're having a good time. Where you at? What you doing? What's going on? That is what typically results in a woman being like, oh my God, like I never get a break from this guy. And he's always saying how much he loves me. And he's always like needing me for attention and stuff like that. And so that doesn't leave space for her to sit there and think about wanting to potentially touch you. Okay. This is one of those things that, like, again, if you've watched my channel long enough, you should know what this is, right? But clearly, there are so many guys out there that think that the reason their woman is losing interest in sex is because maybe they just suddenly lost attraction. It's usually not sudden. It usually happens over a long period of time, but it starts with stuff like this, where the husband just can't get away from her and he constantly is trying to be on top of her and trying to get her to hang out all the time, and she never gets a break from him, and they think, oh, but it's love, we're supposed to be together, whatever, and supposed to always like each other around, and that's just not reality. I love my wife to death, and there are still times where I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go out for a little bit, or she'll be here, be like, hey, I got certain meetings happening. I'll be like, hey, great, I'm gonna go out of the house, I'll see you in a little bit. People need time and a break from each other in order to be able to feel that time without them, so they appreciate it even more when they come back. If you are not leaving room for your girlfriend, your wife, whoever you're with to actually miss you, and if you're thinking, well, me being clingy just means I love her so much and it's a good thing, I can assure you the women that you're with, they do not think that. They're really thinking, I want to tell him that I need a break from him, but I know saying that is going to hurt his feelings because it's going to sound like I'm saying I don't want to hang around you. And most women aren't able or willing to have that conversation with you because they've probably tried it in the past and the guy got butthurt. So your woman coming to you and saying, so as much as I love you, I just need like a Saturday to myself, or every other week I need to just do something without you. Is that totally cool? And you can't not have a fit over that? Then that's the reason why she's going to eventually stop wanting to have sex with you. You're not giving her time to come to you. And as a result of that, it's going to be like, okay, well, I got to be around him, but that's not going to instill any feelings of wanting to now hook up with you emotionally or physically or otherwise. Okay. Let's learn from this guy. And I'm not to say to this woman, hey, she could do a better job of being able to explain this stuff. But like I said, most women aren't studying this stuff like this. They live in the land of like love just happens and we just happen to love each other. And I just happen to have feelings and they come and go, but I don't know why. You as a guy have to know why they're coming and going and what to do to make sure that they stay there. And that includes knowing when to leave so her feelings will get stronger in your absence. Now, if you need help getting over that hump and figuring out how to actually do that, you can go to HarryWilmington.com and check out my Get Girls Academy. It is the end all be all academy that'll give you guys all the video lessons I've ever taught and all the audios I've ever done up to this point about how to meet, greet, attract, land, keep the attention and attraction of the women that you truly desire. So you can check that out at HarryWilmington.com, along with my various ebooks, as well as the one-on-one coaching sessions that you can also, hit me up for. Hopefully for now, though, that helps you guys figure out some of the reasons why women start to pull away sexually, because I want you guys to have a long, fulfilling sex life with whoever you're with, and you being clingy ain't gonna cut it. I'm Harry Wilmington, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.